So this document that's entitled the, quote, American Patients First, unquote, and which was released in May of 2018 has a lot of different aspects to it. Now, although this idea wasn't specifically delineated in the May 2018 blueprint, which isn't surprising seeing the lack of detail in that release, the Trump administration has recently included the idea of importing drugs from other countries as part of meeting some of its stated goals. Now, this is particularly interesting in the context of biosimilars. Now, my understanding is, pursuant to this plan, that the FDA will form a working group to explore importation in cases where a manufacturer suddenly increases the price of a drug that doesn't have any competitors. It's also my understanding that importation would only be allowed for drugs whose patents and exclusivities have already expired. So as an initial matter, this means that this importation is unlikely to impact access of more cutting-edge medications, which significantly limits its impact on drug prices. So it's unclear whether this plan would significantly address any of the stated goals that were listed. But perhaps more specific to biologics, as a practical matter, it may be difficult to determine whether all the patents have expired, given there's no current listing of patents covering the biologics products like there is in the Orange Book for small molecule drugs. So it may be difficult to determine whether you apply for this or not. Now, there are also different concerns about how we will determine whether these imported drugs are as safe as those approved by the FDA. Now, this is especially concerning in the biologic context, where no two drugs are exactly identical in the way that a small molecule drug can be. As an example, even if you're using the exact same process and the exact same machinery, producing a biologic in Seattle will be different than producing one in Phoenix, will be different from Miami, and so on and so on. So based on the differences in environmental conditions, ambient temperature, all that, it could completely change the product that you're going to get. And then there's also just normal product drift, even in the same manufacturing location with biologics. Now, that's because most biologics are manufactured from living cells, which may have significant variance from cell culture to cell culture, even without considering the surrounding environment. It seems that allowing importation of biologic drug products into the U.S. without further FDA oversight could create a loophole for avoiding the costly biosimilar approval process in the U.S., which may ultimately also create potential safety concerns.